And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out.
What Ryan Reynolds, has seemingly done, right, is used his power and influence to not only help Blake Lively take over this movie, but, he's used it, on Deadpool and to make fun of.
What happens when Hollywood's favorite anti-hero, Ryan Reynolds, clashes with Marvel Studios? And why is Joe Rogan taking shots at him? Let's start with the spark that lit this fire. Joe Rogan. The podcast giant, known for his no-holds-barred takes, recently went off on Ryan Reynolds during one of his episodes. According to insiders, Rogan didn't hold back, accusing Reynolds of letting personal drama seep into his work. But it wasn't just a casual critique. Rogan allegedly tackled rumors that Marvel is furious with Ryan for some behind-the-scenes power moves. Specifically, those shock humor jabs in Deadpool 3 that reportedly targeted a certain director. Rogan's take? He's unimpressed with how Ryan's off-screen influence might be overshadowing the actual movies. And when Joe Rogan side-eyes you, the entire internet listens. So, does Joe have a point, or is he just stirring the pot? Let's keep digging. Now, onto the juiciest part of this drama, the alleged Marvel lawsuit. Yes, you heard that right. Multiple sources claim that Marvel is not pleased with Ryan Reynolds using Deadpool 3 as a platform to dig at personal rivals. For years, Ryan was Marvel's golden child, breathing new life into a character no one thought would work on the big screen. But here's the twist. The moment you cross a line with the House of Mouse, the claws come out. Marvel has always prized synergy and brand integrity, and they don't take kindly to stars overshadowing or sabotaging their cinematic universe. If the rumors are true that Ryan insisted on jokes aimed at real-life figures, particularly Justin Baldoni, that sets a dicey precedent. And Marvel, they're not having it. Rumor has it, a lawsuit is on the table to either muzzle Ryan's comedic autonomy or potentially boot him altogether. Yes, you heard me. There's even talk of a Deadpool recast. Can you imagine? Rewind the clock, and you'll see how we got to this point. Once upon a time, Ryan Reynolds was hailed as the savior of Deadpool. He leaked test footage in 2014, championed the R-rated anti-hero to the top of the box office, and earned a ton of goodwill with fans and Marvel alike. But as Deadpool soared, so did Ryan's behind-the-scenes clout. He was heavily involved in scripting, casting, marketing, you name it. Marvel was thrilled at first, but as time passed, whispers started circulating that Ryan was taking more liberties, maybe pushing the envelope on jokes that clashed with Marvel's overall direction, maybe strong-arming comedic bits that the studio found too provocative. Marvel reportedly told him to dial it back. But when has Ryan Reynolds ever dialed it back? Hold on to your seats, because this is where things get extra messy. Enter Blake Lively, Ryan's wife, who was cast in Justin Baldoni's adaptation of It Ends With Us. On paper, everything looked perfect, a best-selling novel, an accomplished director, and a beloved leading actress. But behind the scenes, chaos. Allegedly, Blake felt overshadowed by Baldoni, who was pulling triple duty as director, co-writer, and star. She wanted a bigger say in her character's story arc, hoping to position herself as the film's emotional core. But Baldoni's approach allegedly put him front and center, leaving Blake feeling like a side note. What started as minor creative differences escalated into a full-blown feud, with rumors spreading that Blake felt Baldoni was sidelining her input. And here's where it gets spicy. Leaked text messages suggest Blake may have orchestrated negative press about Baldoni, framing him as the controlling one. And who was allegedly in her corner? None other than Ryan Reynolds. So how does Justin Baldoni factor into Deadpool 3? According to insiders, the upcoming film originally contained multiple jokes clearly referencing Baldoni, painting him as an overzealous director or a wannabe star overshadowing his own project. Sure, Deadpool is known for savage commentary, but aiming jabs at a real person who's in a public feud with your wife, that's a whole different ballgame. The biggest rumor? One gag involved a scene where Deadpool mocks a director who insists on starring in his own film but lacks the talent. Another jab poked fun at feel-good gurus who ironically cause behind-the-scenes drama. Sound familiar? Marvel was not amused. They reportedly demanded rewrites, which allegedly kicked off a standoff with Ryan, who wanted to keep those digs in for comedic effect. But Marvel saw it as personal vendettas taking over a major MCU film, something they absolutely didn't sign up for. Now cue the next big rumor. Marvel might actually be considering parting ways with Ryan Reynolds. Yes, the man who is Deadpool to millions of fans.
And it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. And I hope people find it inspiring, and yet also, it's a film about a heavy topic.
If Marvel truly believes Ryan orchestrated targeted attacks from within an MCU script, they might go scorched earth to ensure it never happens again. Remember, Deadpool is now fully integrated into the grand Marvel Cinematic Universe. The last thing they want is random personal vendettas overshadowing Avengers crossovers or the next big event film. It's not common for a studio to sue its own star, but this situation is bigger than a standard creative disagreement. It's about controlling the future direction of their brand. If they let Ryan get away with it, how could they stop another star from doing the same? That's the logic. Better to make an example of him now than risk the entire MCU devolving into petty ego feuds. Let's talk about the fandom. Half of them are screaming, "Don't you dare recast Deadpool," while the other half is concerned about the direction of the franchise. Deadpool is such a singular presence that many fans can't imagine anyone else filling those red spandex boots. But an equal portion is saying, if Ryan's letting personal grudges seep into the MCU, maybe it's time to get rid of him. That's a big statement, especially considering how fiercely fans have supported Ryan's comedic brilliance in the role. Yet, the notion of a new actor stepping in might not be as impossible as it once sounded, especially if Marvel's worried about brand damage. So, are you Team Ryan, or is it time for a new face?
I always thought I'd end up as in law enforcement, like my family. So I didn't imagine that acting was a way to get out of the house. It wasn't really like a passion when I was a kid. It was something that I was already doing at home, to survive. So
Right.
Sound off, because this is about to shape the future of our R-rated superhero fare as we know it. So where do we stand? We've got Joe Rogan turning up the heat on Ryan, Marvel allegedly mulling a lawsuit, Blake Lively under fire, and Deadpool 3 potentially stuck in a rewrite fiasco. The question is, will Marvel actually pull the trigger and sue one of their biggest stars? Or is this nuclear option just a scare tactic to keep him in line? If Marvel really does remove Ryan from Deadpool, the internet will melt down. But Marvel might decide the short-term backlash is worth preserving long-term brand integrity. Either way, this story is far from over. Stay tuned, because the tea is only getting spicier. Let's not forget the ripple effect this scandal is having on Ryan and Blake's personal brand. For years, they've been Hollywood's golden couple. Playful roasts, comedic Instagram spats, and that fun, adorable vibe that made them everyone's favorite power duo. But now, the leaked text messages and behind-the-scenes drama are painting a very different picture. If the public starts seeing them as a manipulative duo who use their star power to shape narratives and settle scores, that carefully crafted image could crumble fast. Some fans are even wondering if this fiasco will create tension between Ryan and Blake. After all, if Ryan is risking his career to defend Blake's interests, might he start to resent the fact that he's in hot water because of her battles? Or are they in total solidarity, ready to come out of this swinging? For now, they're both staying quiet. No statements, no clarifications, which only fuels the rumor mill. Speaking of silence, let's talk about Ryan's deafening lack of response. This is a man who's built his brand on quick-witted comebacks and hilarious social media clapbacks. Yet, when it comes to these explosive rumors, radio silence. Some believe Marvel has threatened him with a gag order. Don't say a word while we figure this out. Others think he's lying low, hoping the swirl of negative PR will pass him by. But here's the thing. Silence isn't necessarily the best PR move for someone whose entire persona thrives on being vocal and irreverent. It only fuels speculation that the rumors might be true, or at least too close for comfort. Fans are itching for clarity, but Ryan's team is staying quiet, and that, my friends, is suspicious in itself. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the future of Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds didn't just play Wade Wilson. He became Wade Wilson. His comedic timing, his ability to break the fourth wall, and his meta humor are what made the character a billion-dollar phenomenon. So, if Marvel decides to part ways with Ryan, can Deadpool survive without him? Some insiders argue that the character is bigger than any single actor. After all, we've seen multiple Batmans, Spider-Mans, and Hulks. Recasting might spark backlash initially, but if Marvel weaves it into the multiverse or does a comedic fourth wall-breaking explanation, fans might eventually embrace it. On the other hand, losing Ryan's unique touch could deflate the franchise. People pay to see him ad-lib those meta jokes that only he can deliver. So, Marvel's in a tricky spot. Do they risk fan outrage by recasting, or do they stick with Ryan and hope he tones down the personal vendettas? If the rumors of a lawsuit are true, this could get messy fast. Lawsuits between studios and stars are rare, but when they happen, they're explosive. Marvel might argue that Ryan's alleged actions, using Deadpool 3 to mock a real-life figure, could open them up to legal liabilities. If Justin Baldoni or his team feel targeted, they could sue for defamation, and Marvel would be dragged into the fray. On the flip side, Ryan's camp might argue that his creative input is what made Deadpool a success in the first place. Who owns the jokes? Who owns the script? These are questions that could tie up the courts for years.
About a month ago, this really hit home with me too. About a month ago, I was sitting in traffic and I was just like jamming These Dreams by heart. I was killing it in the car. And there was just this busload of high school kids that were parked right beside me. I didn't even realize. I looked over and every one of their jaws were just on the ground laughing their friggin'
And let's not forget the financial stakes. Deadpool is a cash cow, and any delays or rewrites could cost Marvel millions. This isn't just about creative differences. It's about money, power, and control. At its core, this scandal is a classic Hollywood power play. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are two of the most influential stars in the industry, with enough clout to shape entire film campaigns. But what happens when that power is used to push personal agendas? According to the rumor mill, this entire fiasco started because Blake wanted more creative control on It Ends With Us and felt overshadowed by Justin Baldoni. If she enlisted Ryan's comedic empire to even the odds, it might be the ultimate cautionary tale. When star power becomes too big, it can backfire spectacularly. Hollywood's no stranger to behind-the-scenes maneuvering, but rarely do we see such a public meltdown where hush-hush text messages come to light, and one of the biggest studios in the world might actually sue a major star. So, what's the moral of this chaotic saga? Sometimes it pays to keep the drama off-screen. Ryan Reynolds built his career on being the lovable, wisecracking anti-hero. But if these rumors are true, he might have taken the jokes too far. Blake Lively cultivated an image of grace and poise, but the leaked texts suggest a behind-the-scenes power player who's not shy about using her connections. And Marvel? They're a corporate giant that prioritizes brand integrity above all else. If they feel threatened, they'll go scorched earth to protect their empire. This story is a reminder that in Hollywood, no star is invincible, not even the merc with a mouth. As for what's next, the future is murky. Ryan has several projects in the pipeline, but some studios are reportedly putting them on hold until they see how this Marvel fiasco plays out. Why invest millions in a star who might soon be blacklisted by the biggest name in superhero cinema? Blake, meanwhile, is dealing with the blow to her image. The leaked texts have dented her aura of being a drama-free star, and some producers might hesitate before signing her onto new projects. It's not necessarily career-ending, but it's definitely a setback. As for Justin Baldoni, he's staying relatively quiet, letting the drama speak for itself. If Marvel is truly outraged that Ryan tried to use Deadpool 3 to sabotage Baldoni's rep, the director might end up with a wave of sympathy. And in Hollywood, sympathy can turn into bigger offers and better deals. So where does this leave us? With more questions than answers. Will Marvel actually sue Ryan Reynolds, or is this just a scare tactic? Will Deadpool 3 be rewritten, recast, or stuck in limbo? And what does this mean for Ryan and Blake's future in Hollywood? One thing's for sure. This story is far from over. Hit that subscribe button because this story is evolving daily, and you won't want to miss a single update. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Marvel is overreacting, or did Ryan Reynolds step way out of line? Can you imagine Deadpool without Ryan? And what's your take on Blake Lively's role in all of this?